Whoa, 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 whoa. How are you doing that? With the magic of choice. Alright, so over the past year or so, my keyboard collection has grown a little bit, and just as with gaming mice, I keep everything that I like. Not just in storage, but actually use them in rotation. Now, I realize my privilege of going through so many gaming peripherals, but doing videos on those, of course, gives me access to everything like that. And so today I want to share my 3 favorite TKL keyboards that you could potentially use in your gaming space, office space, or just for casual use. And so if you're urging for a TKL upgrade for your keyboard, make sure to check out the description. Everything's listed there. Welcome the entire H series from NZXT, one of the most elegant case lineups with a premium construction you'll appreciate, and the little details like purple USB ports, perforated shroud floor, and the iconic cable cover. We've got an ITX option, the H200, your standard ATX mid-tower, the H500, and the big guns, the H700. All available with a smart device for RGB illumination and fan control, or the standard variations with a smart interior to complement an easy assembly. The H series is Hardware Canucks approved and is something for everyone. Check it out below. So here they are, my 3 favorite TKL keyboards. The G Pro from Logitech, it's by far my most used one here. It's been on my desk since launch. The Massdrop control is one of the more premium and customizable boards that I have, with a fantastic color scheme and a gorgeous illumination. And the most recent addition is the Tesoro Gram Spectrum TKL for its low profile nature and the little variation of the mechanical switches. Form factor wise, they all share the same Tenkeyless design without the number pad on the side, but they all have their unique characteristics. So for example, the Gram Spectrum TKL has that low profile frame and the keycaps. The angular front section helps to further minimize the footprint, while the keys on the G Pro are slightly submerged into the frame with a larger forehead above the top row, and a totally floating keycap design on the control keyboard with an elegant symmetrical slab of aluminum for the main frame. All feature a removable cable centered on the G Pro, right side on the Gram TKL, and dual-sided Type-C port on the control keyboard for extra routing flexibility, and that unused port can be used for additional Type-C accessories, which is pretty cool. They all have some form of RGB illumination that is handled quite differently. For example, the G Pro keyboard has the Logitech's own Romo G switches with a centered LED to illuminate the transparent section of the keys evenly without any spill below the keys, and I love this look. You can do all kind of effects and Perky color customization too. The Gram Spectrum TKL uses Tesoro's Agile switches with a transparent base, and therefore gives that cool underglow effect for the entire keyboard, and has an even better light spill on the white frame. We have multiple color effects and Perky color customization as well. The control keyboard can be picked up with multiple mechanical switches, so I have the Halo clear switches, and because they're exposed at the bottom, that illumination effect is pretty strong. Plus, we get an additional LED strip around the bottom of the frame to cast some more color onto the surface. It is definitely one of the prettiest keyboards I have in my collection, especially with that two-tone gray color scheme of the keycap layout, but I will say that the uniformity could be slightly better, as individual LEDs on the light bar are clearly visible. And as usual, multiple color effects are built in with Perky color selection available. And so all 3 keyboards are slightly different and will attract a particular type of user. So for example, with the control keyboard from Massdrop, it's more targeted for enthusiasts given its price point and also not full-time availability. But we have full customization with QMK firmware, where you can assign all types of commands and create layers of key customization, and even the switches are hot swappable too, for those wanting to experiment to create your perfect feeling keyboard and assign multiple switches throughout the entire board without soldering anything, which is pretty awesome. The keycaps are also high quality double shot PBT with an interesting grainy texture, and also the cleanest font, especially compared to the other 2 keyboards. Now, my gaming keyboard of choice, of course, has to be the G Pro from Logitech. It's a tough little board that has seen a lot of action, and my primary purpose of using this for games are the Romo G switches. And while I really like the insane variety of MX Cherry options, the Romo G is just such an awesome combination of a quiet switch with a slight tactile point that I'm extremely comfortable with. They are kind of similar to MX Browns, but I still prefer the Romo G. And lastly, if I want to switch things up a bit for a more minimalist look, I take out the Tesoro Gram Spectrum TKL. And I kind of wish I had the white edition of this keyboard that can blend a bit more with my space, but the low profile nature is pretty unique, plus the linear red Agile switches feel smooth and awesome for typing, as the actuation point is slightly shorter at 1.5 millimeters, and they're also pretty light at 45 grams, and they're also pretty quiet too. So there you have it, my 3 favorite TKL keyboards in a nutshell. If you're thinking of picking one up, everything will be listed in the description below. And I realize my privilege of having these 3 models on hand and picking and choosing whichever I feel like of using on that particular day. If I had to choose one, I would probably stick with the G Pro by Logitech. It really comes down to 3 factors. The Romo G switches are awesome, the simple minimalist design, plus pretty decent RGB illumination that isn't too out there, but still allows for a little bit of fun whenever I try to like color match my peripherals. Now, I've had this keyboard for almost 2 years, and I read online based on long-term customer reviews of 2 years plus that some keys stopped working, and the main comment from many users is the LED burning out on certain keys, not displaying any more color. So given you have 2 years warranty, that's unfortunate, but I haven't had any issues since. The Tesoro would be my second choice simply because the price is good. I love the low profile design. I don't really care about the TKL switches, you know, they've had bad reputation in the past, but since the Agile switches I think are pretty decent, feels very nice, and I switch them out as well when I need to do some typing. I love typing on the Agile red switches. And then the control keyboard. That's a particular one that's so premium, and I love the switches. I love everything about it, the lighting, the build quality, the heaviness of the switch, the customization, everything about it. But it's not easy to get a hold of because it's on Massdrops, which are not always present. And so that would be my third choice. But still, it's a really awesome premium keyboard for enthusiasts. So if you had to choose between the 3, which one would you pick? And if you have any alternative suggestions for a TKL design, let me know. I would love to check it out. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out this other relevant content. Subscribe to our new Boot Sequence channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy clicking away, my friends. See you later.